additions, achievements and advancements. Good old AI. Stay tuned and all will be revealed. Well, good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Piccadilly Eastway. So yes, additions, achievements and advancements. And not only that, Lion. So let's take a look at what we're doing. Well, it's been a while since we did this, isn't it? And yes, the picture of Mayflower is there because Mayflower is finished. I'll show you that in a minute. But there have been some additions, small things at first. So there's a pack of brushes. There's another pack of brushes and another pack of brushes. So 3 packs of brushes. I tend to buy the cheapest I can from Amazon in the biggest bulk packs I can from Amazon. And that way, you know, a brush doesn't last very long. You use it for 10 minutes, you chuck it and you get another one. It's simple as that, really. I buy the better brushes for when I do, say, painting and things like that. I mean, picture painting, that type of stuff. Okay, next. So more small stuff and another little A5 cutting mat. That's very useful for when I just want to chop something with the knife and I just have a little table in front of me, so that's perfect for that. And getting a little bit more technical now, I bought this morning. I was in my local model shop. The owner is a good friend as well, so I thought I'll pop in and see him and see what I can pick up. So I broke one of these. I don't know how it happened, but it shorted out, so I thought I need a new one. So that's that. And we're getting bigger still. But I actually went in because he has a load of these lorries, and for just £8, I thought that's too good to be true. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't exactly know what it's like, but he reckons he's got a few of these, so I might go back and get another one, may even be another 2. We'll see how things go. Now, this was a bargain. Well, I say a bargain, it's expensive, but or fine, should I say, because when I went to a show last year or earlier in the year, I was told I would stand no chance of getting an MMC in steel blue, but here we are. And I just kept looking at Rouse of Sheffield and they had them in. Now, they're not cheap, 70 odd quid, but at the end of the day, these are the prices we have to pay these days. Anyway, I bought something a bit bigger. Now, this thing you've seen before. Yes, 25322, or I think it was numbered 922 when I got it, Tamworth Castle, and that's the Hellion version. And it died. The motor burnt out, and a few years ago I went to a show and spoke to Ben, one of the MDs of the time, or co-owners of the time, and he very kindly stripped out a sample because he found out that actually the motors weren't supplied to people like Gauge Master, so the spares weren't available. So he sent me this motor, and sadly that didn't work either. So it's freewheeling. Now, I stripped out all the gears, and you know, I don't want to get rid of it because it was such a lovely model when I got it, and I don't want it to be just, you know, dumped in the siding and, you know, left. It's still got a sound chip in it, and the sound chip works brilliantly. So again, I was in my local model shop and I come across this, which is a brand new Bachmann Class 25 in green on this occasion. Now, I can't have it running yet because you will probably realise it's a Plux 22 and I don't actually have any Plux 22 decoders. So I think it would be quite nice to get a sound decoder for this and then couple the two together permanently with a coupling on either end, and then that can run up and down the heritage line, maybe occasionally on the main line, with either some coaches, maybe some wagons, etc, etc, etc. So there we are. There's our new additions, but I will just show you this. I'm not going to go into huge amounts of depth with this because I'm sure you've seen Bachmann 25, but I love it. It does look a little bit strange next to the other one because it's obviously not weathered yet, but look at that. And I must admit, when I first got it, he put it on the test track for me, and it ran beautifully in one direction, and it started making some, well, not grinding noises, but unfavourable noises in the other direction. And I said to him, look, if I can't get it working properly and get rid of the noises, can I just bring it back? And he kindly agreed. And I said to him, I'll strip down the bogies, I'll oil up everything and see what happens. Yep, no problems at all. So that's exactly what I did. I stripped down all the bogies, re-oiled all the bearings and the worm drives, etc, etc, etc. And it runs a dream now, but only on DC because I don't have a decoder. But you can imagine those two running together, can't you? So that will be absolutely beautiful. So there's that. So it is a short video, I'm afraid, but it's just to show you some of the things that I've got, but also some of the progress that I've made on the layout. It's not a massive amount, but it purely shows I'm still alive. Speaking of it. Okay, so you can see now I've got the APT power car in front of you. And you think, well, why is that there? Well, the reason is because I've fitted it with HM7000, and it actually was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. This is the 8-pin version, and I was told by someone at Hornby at one of the big exhibitions that I needed to cut the wires down to try and get rid of the bulk of wires, because you can appreciate all the wires bulking together are going to stop this from tilting. But what I thought I'd have a go at first was making sure that the wires were dead flat. So when they come out the 8-pin socket, to even rewire them slightly. And what I mean by that is to unsolder them, make sure that they're flat with some tape around, and then solder them back up again, that type of thing. And then it did slip up through the chassis, and it tilts very nicely. Now, I'm not going to show this running in this particular video, but I will do in coming videos. All right, I'll catch you shortly. But not only that, I wanted to get line out. Now, that is the Rapido line, and it pulls all of the coaches, which the Hornby one never did, because if you remember, I had huge issues with the Hornby one, and it's now going to be assigned to rusting, if you like. Now, on this part here, you can see I've now scenicked up all of this bank, and that is basically done with Woodland Scenics clump foliage. There's some, what do we call it, seafoam, and varying scatters, and there's some lichen in there, all sorts of bits. There's some rubberized horsehair, and also some of those Woodland Scenic trees. That there is probably around about 8 to 10 inches tall, and that is a tree which I had on the previous version of Piccadilly sidings. So I decided to stick some of the branches together, put some tape around it, filler, and make something considerably bigger. Again, seafoam on the ends, some all sorts of different scatters and coarse foliage, etc, etc, etc. And I just wanted that statement tree at the end of the layout. And we've got some smaller trees there, etc. And there's another one just in there, and there's another one just there. So if you start to look across, you can see how this area now is developing nicely. And as I said before, I want it to be so you can sneak through, if you like, and just peek through. You can see Mayflower in the distance there, and particularly if I do that, Mayflower becomes a little bit more vibrant and sort of noticeable, if you like. So Mayflower is complete. And as somebody pointed out in the past, the reflections there is just beautiful. And just to give you a view up there, and it is really nice to see the different foliage that's, you know, reflecting back in the water. If I just come round this way and put it down there, you can see all the different reflections in the water. It just makes such a lovely effect. And that bank in many places actually sticking up above, but because the water goes underneath, you wouldn't necessarily notice. And now on to Mayflower itself. As you can see, it was a lovely build. I'm not going to lie, but it was incredibly complicated, particularly when we got to the rigging. They give you 2 reels of cotton, and some of the instructions, sadly, are just not very clear. And you're expected to put cotton in places where the drawing is just not up to standard, and so therefore you have no idea of what you're doing. You just have to kind of guess. So that's exactly what I did do, and I think, to be honest with you, it is a simplified version, but the rigging, you can see all the lines going up in varying places. I think that looks all right, and I'm really happy with that. Now also the sails. Now, somebody did say to me in a different model shop that the sails would probably be removed, but I really wasn't happy with that, and I wanted that extra dimension. Now, I know it can't go anywhere. I know that, and it would. My idea would be that it would have been craned in, and so therefore the sails would probably have been removed. But as I said, so that is an old shirt. Just a normal common garden shirt. I cut the shapes out from the pieces that they give you. I like that. Now these are literally just vacuum formed pieces of plastic, and to be honest with you, I don't think they look especially realistic as a sail. I mean, they could probably be painted up to look more realistic, but I just felt that actual fabric would do the job so much better than those pieces of plastic. There's trains going around, so I've got to be a bit careful. But that is literally just the shapes cut out into those pieces of old shirt, and then it's literally just rolled up. And as you can see there, I took the cotton and wrapped it round. Have glued it in places, but again, I'm really, really happy with the way that's looking. Now, if I take you over to this scene here now, so again, through the trees, that scene is developing very, very nicely indeed. So, I mean, particularly from there, you know, and if I have a train coming through, I'll remove those sails. See, there's 60 going through there. And then hopefully you can see what I mean by sort of having these bushes and trees, just making a little bit of a frame, if you like. You can move it round, and then the frame changes, and it just gives that something extra to look at. So you can see I've put some weeds coming out from the middle of the tracks and all sorts of bits and bobs there. So there we go, that's the scene. I know there's no actual modelling in this, but I'm just so tired. This has been built up over a series of weeks, and it's summer holiday in 2 weeks' time, and I can't wait. I'm absolutely on my knees, but there we go. So I hope you enjoyed it, as brief as the video has been, and seeing how Mayflower has come along and been finished, and this scene has been finished, and some of the new additions. And I will catch you very, very soon here on Piccadilly Eastway, and also the Engage Layout Piccadilly, because I'm going to be doing something on that soon on the summer holidays. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.